you're from Mama University?
From NC State.
NC State. Okay. So from NC State, trade-off between privacy and utility, corroboration of intrusion detection systems, and we go for game theoretic approach. All yours.
Hi everyone. Thanks for coming to the presentation. And my name is Richeng, and I'm working with Dr. Dai from North Carolina State University. And our topic is on the trade-off between privacy and utility in collaborative intrusion detection systems, a game theoretical approach. Considering the fact that it is often the case multiple organizations will share the same network, and each of these organizations might deploy intrusion detection systems in the network to monitor the network traffic for intrusion detection. And when one of these organizations or the whole network is under attack, these IDS might observe correlated traffic patterns and output correlated detection results. So intuitively, these intrusion detection systems can collaborate for better intrusion detection performance. And in such collaborative environment, these IDS are supposed to share some detection results like intrusion alert to help each other for better intrusion detection. But on the one hand, this information sharing procedure will lead to better intrusion detection performance. But on the other hand, this information sharing nature will raise privacy concerns. First, it might leak some information about the security states of the IDS, and in addition, some confidential information might leaked in the information sharing procedure. And here is a simple example. NC State and some other companies are sharing the same network in NC State Centennial campus. So when the network is under attack, the IDS deployed by NC State and the companies like ABB can share their detection results for better intrusion detection. And one example for the intrusion alerts is FTP, Global Expansion Alert Type, which has a set of attribute names, including the source IP, source port, destination IP, destination port, start time and end time. First, by eavesdropping these intrusion alerts, the attacker can infer the security states of the IDS. For example, if the IDS output an alert, then at least the attacker can know the corresponding IDS has the detection knowledge for the certain type of attacks. And if the IDS is aware of the existence of this attack in the network, it might adjust its configuration to which is suitable for detecting such attacks, and the attacker can infer the security states and choose better attacking strategy on certain IDS or organizations. And on the other hand, since the intrusion alerts contains some confidential information, probably this source IP or destination IP are private for the organizations, and sharing this information may lead to privacy issues. So the IDS in the networks, they are facing two problems. One is the response problem. That is, if an attacker launches an attack on a certain organization I here, the IDS deployed by organization I will output a detection result Y here. Here we assume the output is either an intrusion alert or not, and choose this optimal response strategy to respond to the attack. And also the IDS is also facing the collaboration problem, because the other IDS, for example IDSJ, will also observe the abnormal traffic in the network when there is some attacks. So IDSJ will also output a detection result YJ. If there is no privacy concerns, the IDSJ will directly share the detection result YJ with other IDS. But with such privacy concerns, we assume it will share an obfuscated version of YJ, and then the YJ hat to each other IDS. And based on the collected detection results Y here, IDSI will further decide its response strategy. So here is an overview of our work. We investigated both the IDS collaboration and the response problem and formulated it as a repeated two-layer, single-layer multifolder again. And we analyzed the optimum response and collaboration strategies of all the IDS. And to start, I will first briefly introduce some background information on game theory. Game theory is a formal study of decision making where several players must make choices that potentially affect the interests of all the other players. And usually a game consists of several elements, including the players of the game, and information and actions available to each player, and the payoffs of the player, which is a function of all the actions of the players in the game. And in game theory, it is usually assumed that all the players are rational. That is, these players are seeking to play in a manner which maximizes their own payoffs. And with such consideration, natural equilibrium are usually serving as a solution concept. A need is a list of strategies, one for each player, which has the property that no player can unilaterally change their strategy and get a better payoff. And since other players are also rational, it is reasonable for each player to expect his opponents to follow the actions in a need. And leader in a leader follower game is a two-period game. The leader moves in the first period, and the followers move in the second period after observing the leader's move. And usually the leader in the leader follower game will take advantage because it can infer the possible actions of the follower. And in this work, we assume that the attacker can attack different organizations in the network independently and simultaneously. And we assume the attacker can launch one type of attack on each organization, and it will lose his attacking capability after being successfully responded. For example, being identified. This assumption comes from the fact that the attacker usually launches an attack by exploiting the vulnerabilities in the system. And once the attacks are identified, then the certain bugs or vulnerabilities will be fixed and the corresponding signatures be recorded, which makes the same type of attack ineffective. And we also assume the attacker can access to all the information in the network, including the detection capabilities and the collaboration strategies of the IDS. And we assume for the defender, when the attacker launches an attack on the organization, all the IDS will observe abnormal traffic with different probabilities. And these IDS will collaborate by sharing the detection results. To preserve privacy, each IDS will obfuscate the detection results before sharing. Again, we formulate the problem as a repeated single leader multifolder again. And the first layer again models the interaction between the attacker and each IDS, and the attacker acts as leader and each IDS acts as follower. And the second layer models the interaction among all the IDS in the network. And here is an overview of our approach. First, we solve the first layer again and obtain the optimal response strategies of IDS and the corresponding payoffs as functions of collaboration strategies. And then we solve the second layer to obtain the optimal collaboration strategies of IDS and feedback to the first layer again, and further obtain the optimal attacking strategies of attackers. And in the first layer, in the follower again, since we assume all the attacker will launch one type of attack on each organization, the action set for the attacker is attack or not, and the response action is the response or not, and the corresponding payoffs are defined as in the payoff matrix. And for the leader follower again, we solve the Stackelberg natural equilibrium to obtain the optimal strategies of both the attacker and the IDS as a function of the IDS collaboration strategies. And the optimal strategies are solved as in these equations. It can be seen that at the SNE, the optimal strategy of IDSI is to respond with probability 0. This is because the attacker is modeled as the leader, so it can choose proper strategy to force the IDS not to respond. And the second layer is modeled as continuous multiplayer again. And the utility function is a function of estimated payoff from the first layer again and the privacy loss. And the action space in the second layer is the misreported probability PIC here. And with this misreported probability P, IDSI will flip its detection results. And the utility function consists of three parts. The first one is the payoff improvement of IDSI brought by IDSJ's collaboration. And the second part is the payoff improvement of IDSJ brought by IDSI's collaboration. And the third part is the privacy loss caused by the information sharing. And the intuition behind this utility design is that if IDSI helps more for IDSJ, then when IDSJ helps IDSI, it should receive a higher instant reward. And so we solved the natural equilibrium of the game and proposed an asynchronous dynamic update algorithm to compute the NE. And the asynchronous dynamic update algorithm is quite simple. Each IDS has its own time scale and a set of time. It will update its misreported probability by maximizing its utility function. The IDS utility functions in the second layer again are concave functions of the misreported probabilities of all the IDS. The concavity makes the optimization problem easy to solve numerically. And here we use the utility of the first layer again to model to measure the security of the network. And we use the entropy induced by the obfuscation procedure to measure the privacy preserved. And by solving the game, we can prove that the collaborative scheme that is sharing obfuscated detection results of all the IDS always leads to performance improvement. And second, the natural equilibrium impute strategy always exists in the second layer again. And here we, in the simulation results, we consider two scenarios. First, we consider the scenario where there is a M collaborative IDS, and the IDS under attack will observe abnormal traffic with probability 1, and the other IDS are assumed to observe abnormal traffic with probability 0.8. And first, we assume the collaboration strategies are fixed so that we can observe the utilities in different collaboration strategies. And here we measure the average payoff improvement comparing to the non-collaborative case. And here is the result. In this figure, the x-axis is the average privacy preserved by the IDS, and the y-axis is the average utility improvement comparing to the non-collaborative case. And from this figure, we can see that when each IDS preserves more privacy, there is less utility improvement. And when there are more collaborative IDS, the utility improvement will be larger. However, all these average utility improvement are positive comparing to the non-collaborative case, which verifies the proposition 1 that the collaboration scheme always leads to better response performance. And in the second scenario, we assume there are 2 collaborative IDS, and also we assume the IDS under attack will observe abnormal traffic with probability 1, and all the other IDS observe abnormal traffic with probability 0.8. And we assume the different IDS have different privacy requirements, and we examine the optimal collaborative strategies. And here in this figure, the x-axis is the privacy requirements of IDS1, and the y-axis is the optimum misreported probability for both IDS. And here we assume IDS2 has fixed privacy requirements, lambda 2. So from this figure, we can see that if IDS1 is emphasizing more on privacy, that is, it has larger lambda 1, then the misreported probability of both IDS1 and IDS2 will decrease. And this is because when IDS1 is emphasizing more on privacy, it will suffer a larger loss by sharing its detection result. And in response, because one IDS is sharing less, then its collaborator will, in response, share less. So this is the main result of our work. That's all. Thanks.
Questions? Two, one, last chance. Okay, thanks.